Luis Collazo, and Collazo tattooed him a lot with good right hooks. Harold Letterman, how do you have it scored through 3?
Jim, 3-0, 30-27. Ricky Hatton. He's outworking him, Jim. He's landing him more shots, and he's winning the fight, even though I think he's going the wrong direction, going to his right all night. But, you know, Jim, I got to comment on something you said in the first round. Those boxing gloves, that glove is almost up to Ricky Hatton's elbow. I've never seen a glove that high on a fighter since Roy Jones boxed John Ruiz and had to use those 10-ounce grants, which were the same thing. But anyway, 3-0, 30-27, Hatton.
Hatton's trainer, Billy Graham, told Harold Letterman that the size of the glove makes it harder for Ricky to get his punches into the spaces where normally he would be able to fit an 8-ounce glove in. Fascinating. You don't think it could make that big a difference, but Graham said he just can't land the same kinds of shots because sometimes he can't find the gap as well.
With the clean shots he's landing, how much more damage would he have done with 8-ounce gloves?
Hands free. Oh, hands free. Hands free. Ball sleepers.
This fight might have been over already.
What do you think, Emmanuel?
Rick is not a devastating one-punch puncher anyway. He's a balanced-out fighter. But I think that it would have been a more exciting fight. I do think he would have landed much more cleaner and punches and had a lot more effect. Right now, the gloves, I think, are being handicapped to him, as far as I can see.
Of course, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Urango isn't accustomed to fighting with 10-ounce gloves either. It's true of both fighters here tonight.
But Urango's a kind of a slower, methodical type fighter anyway, where Ricky is a more fast, explosive type speed puncher, and I think it would affect him a lot more so than a guy like Urango, which is more of a physical type guy, a plotter, so to say.
When we have seen Hatton in recent years in his fights, though he's been all substance and no style. Here tonight, he's showing us some style.
It's
along with the substance.
Yeah, but Urango is making him still punch a lot more, whereas Urango is moving forward, pressuring him. Whereas Casazu, was example, was just opposite. He backed back and Ricky set the tempo. So even though he's winning it, it's a little pressure that's being put on him to make him punch a lot more than he likes to.
Hatton did a nice job of blocking Urango's body shot with his left elbow. He's thought of mostly as an offensive fighter, but he's not without defensive skills. Very few silent moments in the fight. When Ricky Hatton is fighting, you can hear the almost constant roar that's put up by British fans here, but that round ends relatively silently, and Urango holds up his fists as if to say, now I'm beginning to take over, and instantly the crowd boos him.
Because you're not doing it. You of all people, don't go fucking honest on that. You can step to the side and just get a pit of the stomach. You've got to conserve some energy for his skills. He's just sat walking. He's just, you're going to fucking have to. You're not making the effort to do it. Get round him where he can't do anything. You've just got to nullify his work. He's just going to he's going to just got to keep walking it down. He's going to take a bit of shifting. So, when he comes, top him a couple of times, then go around there. Try and get there. And if you can't get him, at least he can't do anything to you.
Come on, we're down. We're gonna win, Dad. Come on.
When Urango lifted his arms at the end of that round, the Brits started chanting, "Uria, Uria, Uria!" Manchesterese for "Who are you? Who are you?"
Maybe because of the pace and the way he fights, a Hatton fight seems to go by fast. We're already in the 5th round, and it feels like the fight started about 5 or 6 minutes ago.
But Urango doesn't throw a lot of punches, but if he did, it would be a much more exciting fight. Ricky's having to make an adjustment and be prepared, I think, for himself to go for a good 12-round decision fight. And Urango is trying to counterpunch.
Oh, there's a hard body shot by Urango, which Tony Weeks deems to be below the guard, and Hatton steps away momentarily, but doesn't bother to take any more time than that. Hatton stepping forward and throwing right-hand leads. Classic tactic against the southpaw. He hasn't done it all that much, but that's an adjustment you might see more and more frequently through the rest of the fight. Good right hook to the body by Urango.
Hands-free, mountain sweeps. Come on, hands-free, mountain sweeps. Stop.
Tony Weeks speaks Spanish and quite frequently will use it to try to get Urango to hear his instructions in there. Good body shot again by Urango. It seems as though Juan Urango has made a decision here to drop his attack and go to the rib cage. It's an adjustment that Hatton hasn't yet adjusted to.
Yeah, I think he's following the orders from his corner from the last round. They told him he's going to have to pick it up. He's losing the fight. He's going to have to step to him a little bit more, and he's doing just that.
Now Hatton fires a body shot to the ribcage of Urango, lands that right up the middle again, but once again Urango pops him to the body and hurts him.
Urango's landing very good body punches this round. Ricky is not boxing and moving as well as he was before. He's leaning in a lot more on those punches and getting caught with body punches.
Smart tactic by Urango to switch to the body punches. Hatton was beating him to the punch upstairs consistently. Now Ricky has slowed down, and Urango's pace is rising.
It seems like those body punches have hurt Ricky, and he's still hurt by him right now.
We'll give Urango credit. He's made an adjustment in this fight. Normally he comes forward looking to counter his opponent. Now he's been willing to take the lead.
A lot of fighters find it extremely difficult to land left hooks against the southpaw, but Hatton's so quick, he's been able to get in his left hook upstairs against Urango. Still, more and more often going to the straight right-hand lead.
Urango's most damaging punches seem to be his right hand, particularly the right hand to the body.
Now, during this round, we've been watching Jose Luis Castillo, who got a narrow escape split decision in the first fight against Herman in Gujo and has a possible date with Hatton later this year. We already told you what a big fan of the sport Castillo is, but there's a lot more to this than being a fan. He's got money on the table, he is rooting for the guy in the light blue trunks, and he is watching intently.
Coming up, guys.
Thank you. Manager Fernando Beltran standing right behind, counting the money.
He's not one of those. Do you understand? You're okay. I think he's going to take a lot of shifting. Get right and stick him with straight shots. Get to the side, stick him with straight shots, and stick him with screw shots.
Don't let him hold on. Push him off. Push him off. Push him off. This fight is ours. Push him out with your body. Come on. Work him, buddy. Work his body. Work his body.
There was a sea change in CompuBox numbers in the 5th round. Suddenly, Urango landing 23 out of 52 power shots, and Hatton only 13 out of 41. The simple adjustment of dropping his attack from upstairs to the body paid huge dividends for Juan Urango. And Castillo, watching in his dressing room, may be saying, hey, the body is where it's at, baby. That's where you're supposed to fight.
And I see a little concern in Ricky Hatton's corner a little bit. I think for the first time, after feeling the strength and power of Urango, he has a little bit more respect for Urango.
And now this time, it's Urango who gets a chance to rest after what Tony Weeks deemed to be a low shot from Hatton. Tony Weeks telling Urango, you've got 5 minutes if you want him, and Urango looks as though he's going to take a good long time to come back from this one. Now he's ready. A fighter doesn't want to take so long to recover from the low blow that he gets cold, but on the other hand, he don't want to go back into the ring compromised.
Yeah, but very seldom will you see a fighter take the 4 or 5 minutes. I think a lot of them because of the pride and the fact that they really just want to get back to the fight after that. Plus, when you have a protective cup on, usually it's very seldom to get really that seriously hurt. That's why they have the rule that you can't win a fight by a low blow, so to say, unless you just had a series of them. And they just stopped the fight from it, but not one single low blow.
Now, after what happened in the last round, it appears that Hatton is coming back in this round to say, okay, you want to go to the body? I'll show you going to the body. I can match you body shot for body shot. Hatton upstairs with the right hand. Pace of the fight changed. Another body shot from Hatton right in the middle of Urango's belly. And Urango kind of nodding as if to say, all right, we're fighting now.
Yeah, Urango's a very physically strong fighter. The more I'm watching him, the more I'm respecting his physical strength and nothing else.
Hatton again with that thudding left hook upstairs. Urango lands his right hook. Can they trade body shots in close? Weeks has got a lot of work in front of him tonight. Two guys who do go forward and throw a lot of punches from different angles. Clinch, body shot, low blow, clinch, body shot, low blow. Tony Weeks is sweating in there.
This is the mauling style that we've seen Hatton in often, throwing 1 or 2 punches and falling in.
Well, he's succeeded in slowing Urango down with the body attack in the first 2 minutes of this round, Emmanuel.
So far, the fight has turned back in his favor again. He's fighting pretty much at the tempo he wants to fight at, and he's landing, he's outboxing and out-punching Urango at this point.
Urango again tries to hammer Hatton to the body with the right hand. Now Urango says, all right, let's go upstairs again. Hatton lands a left hook.
Stop.
Very few fighters have fans backing with this kind of passion that you feel in this room. About 6,500, 7,000 people, well over $1 million gate. Hatton used to fighting before crowds 3 times as big in Manchester.
Well, there's no question that the 22,000 Mancunians, as they called him, were a huge factor for Hatton in his win over Costa Tszyu. Tszyu, the veteran professional, didn't necessarily seem intimidated by the crowd, but discouraged for sure.
Right, come on. You can't let him hug you. Push him off. And attack the body. Don't let him grab you. He just wants to waste time. That's it. He doesn't let you work.
It's to you. You cannot have this guy marching forward, slinging shots at you, and you do all the fucking work. You understand what I mean, don't you? Right, well, do you believe me? I do believe you. Right, well, close.
Here you see Hatton land a low blow right there, and it was right there at the point where I don't think he did a lot of really super serious damage, but enough for him to lose the round, possibly our point on him.
That particular shot by Urango right on the belt, of course, was on the opposite side of Tony Weeks, who's working as hard as he can, but can't possibly see everything.
No, he couldn't see it. I've made a mistake on that. I don't think he was, maybe lost around. He just got a caution from the referee for the blow.
Hatton's 28 total connects in that round, his highest number for the fight, and after Urango had doubled him in power shots the round before, Hatton turned around and tripled Urango in that round. So, Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim, 59, 55, 5 rounds to 1, Ricky Hatton. You know, Jim, after a great 5th round, Juan Urango just didn't fight the 6th round. I can't understand it. I mean, I thought he had him figured out. He comes back and didn't do a damn thing in round 6. But, Ricky Hatton really impresses me. I'm sure he's impressing the judges. He's got a hell of a variety. Left uppercuts, right uppercuts, left hooks, right hooks, straight right hand leads. If you watch the punches, it's amazing how many things he does. 5-1 Hatton.
And you keep expecting him to tire. You keep thinking, well, nobody can fight 180 seconds of every round like this. But, Emmanuel?
He has great stamina, but there's one thing that he does after a lot of his punches sometimes. He does take a little break on his little clinches and top to get his win. Right there.
Yep, right there. It's a different way of resting than what most other fighters do.
Yeah, and it's not a prolonged clinch where you could say, well, he's holding. He does it just enough to take a little breather.
So I guess he deserves a few beers after a night of work like this, huh?
You know what makes Ricky Hatton so popular, and I'm one of his best fans, and is my buddy, too, It's not just his exciting style of boxing, but his personality is just so engaging. And to be a successful person and to remain humble is one of the greatest attributes you can have, and he has it.
Well, he's kind of a cross between a Rottweiler and a Golden Retriever. In the ring, he's a Rottweiler.
Maybe the one person in the sport who is least his fan is another British fighter named Junior Witter, who holds a title in this weight class and who is constantly clamoring for a chance to fight Hatton. And Hatton doesn't like Witter any more than Witter likes Hatton, and Ricky keeps saying, I'll never fight him. That's the most money he could ever make, and I'm just not going to give it to him.
And he's right.
He's right about the money, that's for sure. Whether he'll continue to resist and never fight him remains another question. I can remember when Oscar De La Hoya spent years saying he would never fight Fernando Vargas. And he ultimately used that tactic to set Vargas up to fight him in exactly the way he wanted him to fight him, too.
I agree with you, Jim. They'll fight someday. Later in Hatton's career, after he's tried to make as much money as he can in the U.S. Perhaps probably with Castillo, maybe Mayweather way down the road.